In the heart of the bustling city of Newbridge stood the esteemed St. Victoria Hospital, renowned for its cutting-edge medical technology and a roster of elite physicians. Among them was Dr. Leonard Caldwell, a neurosurgeon whose reputation for brilliance was only rivaled by whispers of his growing arrogance. On a rainy Thursday evening, the emergency department buzzed with activity as 86-year-old Harold Benson was rushed in, exhibiting signs of a severe cerebral hemorrhage. His family, clinging to hope, placed their trust in the hospital's expertise, unaware that this night would unravel into a tragic sequence of events. Dr. Caldwell, though nearing the twilight of his career, was still considered the hospital's crown jewel. His hands had saved countless lives, and his decisions were seldom questioned. However, years of accolades had fostered a dangerous overconfidence. When notified of Harold's condition, Caldwell reviewed the preliminary reports hastily, confident in his ability to navigate the complexities without delving deeply into the patient's charts. He dismissed the need for a thorough review, relying instead on his seasoned intuition. As the surgical team prepared the operating room, Nurse Emily Hart noticed a glaring omission. The surgical chart lacked specification of which hemisphere of the brain was affected. She brought this to Dr. Caldwell's attention, suggesting a quick review of the CT scans. Irritated by what he perceived as a challenge to his authority, Caldwell waved off her concerns, asserting that he remembered the details and that time was of the essence. The team, accustomed to his domineering presence, acquiesced without further protest. Under the sterile lights, the operation commenced. Dr. Caldwell made the incision on the left side of Harold's skull, navigating with practiced precision. However, as he delved deeper, he encountered unexpected anatomical structures. Confusion flickered across his face, but he pressed on, attributing the anomalies to age-related changes. It wasn't until he reached the brain tissue that the unsettling realization dawned. There was no hemorrhage on this side. Panic set in as the surgical team exchanged alarmed glances. Nurse Hart, her voice trembling, suggested rechecking the CT scans. Upon reviewing the images, the truth was undeniable. The bleed was on the right side. Dr. Caldwell, his confidence shattered, ordered the team to proceed with operating on the correct hemisphere. The room, once filled with the rhythm of routine, now pulsed with tension and dread. Harold was transferred to the intensive care unit post-surgery, his condition critical. His family, initially relieved that the procedure was over, grew increasingly concerned as days passed without improvement. Dr. Caldwell, avoiding direct confrontation, provided vague updates, attributing the lack of progress to Harold's age and the severity of the hemorrhage. The truth of the surgical error remained concealed, festering beneath layers of bureaucracy and fear. 3 weeks later, Harold succumbed to complications. During the post-mortem examination, the pathologist noted surgical interventions on both hemispheres of the brain. Perplexed, he initiated an internal inquiry. The investigation unearthed the grave mistake. Dr. Caldwell had operated on the wrong side before correcting his error. The revelation sent shockwaves through the hospital, igniting a firestorm of scrutiny and blame. The Benson family, devastated by Harold's death, were further shattered upon learning the truth. Their grief morphed into anger and a relentless pursuit of justice. They filed a lawsuit against Dr. Caldwell and St. Victoria Hospital, alleging gross negligence and a cover-up. The media seized upon the story, turning it into a national scandal that questioned the integrity of medical institutions. In the courtroom, the once revered Dr. Caldwell appeared a shadow of his former self. Testimonies from the surgical team painted a picture of a man whose hubris had overridden protocol. Nurse Hart's account was particularly damning, highlighting the ignored warnings and the culture of intimidation. The jury, moved by the Benson family's pain and the weight of evidence, found Dr. Caldwell guilty of malpractice. The hospital faced hefty fines and was mandated to overhaul its surgical procedures. The tragedy of Harold Benson became a catalyst for change. St. Victoria Hospital implemented stringent checks, ensuring that no surgery commenced without thorough verification. Dr. Caldwell's medical license was revoked, and he retreated from public life, burdened by remorse. The medical community at large took heed, recognizing the perils of unchecked ego and the paramount importance of humility and adherence to protocol. Harold's story served as a somber reminder that in the realm of medicine, lives hinge not just on skill, but on vigilance and integrity. Moreover, the systemic failure of the hospital to check his history and take meaningful action earlier shows how institutions often protect reputations over people. This too must change. Protocols, procedures, and accountability systems must exist not only in name but in practice. A surgeon's mistake should never be repeated because it was ignored the first time. Subscribe to the White Coat Crimes for more shocking true stories, medical crimes, medical mysteries, and the dark side of healthcare you were never meant to see.